All right, here we go, everybody. So, we don't do webinars very often, but when we do, we're going to discover and uncover some technical stuff. And that's exactly what we're going to do today to make your life a little bit easier and show you exactly how I do it. Most of you have been with me long enough to understand a little bit of background about what we're doing. Helps if you spell that right. A little bit of background about what we're doing here so that we can kind of step into a little bit deeper realm this month. So, first of all, jumping on this today, what I want to teach you is mainly centered around Facebook today. Matter of fact, it's going to be all centered around Facebook. And I apologize in advance. I'm doing this live. I figured that's a lot cooler than doing this from screenshot perspective. And so, with that in mind, there may be messages that pop up, people that say crazy shit. So, hell, y'all are used to hanging around me at this point anyway. But I just want to fair warn you that there may be some distractions that pop up as we're going through here that God knows what they'll say. So, first thing I want to talk to you about today is we've discussed EdgeRank before. And I'm going to talk to you about something I call the whip effect. And it's basically a way to make things go viral. And it's what I use. And I'm going to show you exactly how I use it today uh, on this webinar, obviously. So we're going to talk about the whip effect. Then we're going to go in and I'm going to talk to you about the most genius way to get a real estate agent to stick their hand up and say, hey, yeah, I'm open to talking ever. And I wish it was my idea. But Harlan Kilston, one of our copywriters that's in the coaching group that I belong to, taught me this, and I just can't help but share it with y'all. And then I'm going to teach you what Chris Weaver's doing right now as far as local pages. That seems to be working well for his people. So it's something that I want you to be able to show your agents as well. And then the last thing we're going to talk about is the completion of the funnel. So this may be a two-part training, depending on if I can get through all of that in an hour to an hour and 15 minutes, because I'm going to be very detailed because I want y'all to understand exactly what's going on here because this shit's got me a lot of agents business the last few weeks. And so I want y'all to take advantage of it while it's working for me. So first of all, this is obviously my homepage here. So the whip effect on Facebook works like this. You put something out on Facebook that's viral, something that's entertaining, something that people would like to give their opinion about. What I like to do is I go over here to a website called Reddit, reddit.com. Reddit is a social media site, but not like you'd think of for Facebook or anything else. Reddit is my absolutely most favorite site in the world to find like just funny shit. You cannot be in a bad mood and then get on Reddit and continue it being in a bad mood. It's just impossible. Reddit is. I'm not a Reddit expert by any stretch of the imagination. However, you can download it on your iPhone or your Android, and it's a lot easier to use in the app than it is on this website. Okay, so let's just be clear about that. So the reason why I brought you over to Reddit, and that's Reddit, and just a little quick background about Reddit. The gentleman that invented Reddit invented RSS feeds. And that means like when I put a blog post out, everybody that's subscribed to my RSS feed gets an alert, like most of you probably do that are watching this, that gives you an alert that my blog post has been updated. Same if you subscribe to the RSS feeds of any news sites. Every time they release a new blog post or a new post on their site or new news, whatever the outlet you would call it, on a regular site, anytime that comes out, then you get a notification via what's called the RSS feed. Well, Adam Schwartz, the gentleman who invented Reddit, also invented the RSS feed and was sued by the federal government on like 148, if I remember right, 148 different accounts. He was a 24-year-old genius, one of the smartest people on our planet, man, and he committed suicide a couple months ago because of government pressure. So this is the reason why I say that is this site's totally legal and everything, but it's a very controversial site, and it's like wide open, no holds barred. You can say anything on here. There's tons of trolls on Reddit, but there's also a bunch of useful stuff that you can use. But I just want to give you the understanding when you come to Reddit, it's not like a friendly, happy, place like it is on Facebook. It's like a really full of satire and funny and just like some of it's really degrading and some of it's really entertaining as hell type of website. And a lot of it is the way it is. And there's a lot of controversial stuff on here, as you'll even notice one of the top tabs here. because of who Aaron Swartz was and how he died, honestly. So just give you a little useless facts here on Reddit. So what I do is when you come to Reddit, you can get an account for free. It's really easy. Reddit doesn't like you to post very often, and they don't like you to leave a lot of comments, believe it or not. It's mainly a site for readers, hence the RSS feeds. And so across the top here, you've got the front page of Reddit, everything that's been put on Reddit. They call it all. You've got random shit on Reddit. Then you've got pics, funny, politics, gaming. These are your typically most popular headlines. IAMA, that's I am, ask me anything. So that would be like I am a loan officer, ask me anything. You can even put one of those on here, and a lot of people go there and ask you questions. It's pretty cool. A lot of celebrities do the IAMA, so that's really interesting. Today I Learned is my favorite. Okay, so you can go to Today I Learned here. And so what this is as people are skimming across the web, they come, you say you're reading something on Wikipedia about Michael Jackson. You had no idea that the dude had like more animals than Noah did when he built the ark, right? I'm just giving random stuff here. And so you would go and take the Wikipedia link and then type here and leave that link here on Reddit. And you would say, today I learned that Michael Jackson had 2 camels, 2 elephants, 2 donkeys, 2 blah, blah, blah. And he's still weird as hell. And you would leave the link. So like, here's an example. Today I learned, which is TIL, today I learned during the Normandy Allied invasion, a Scottish piper played his bagpipes walking upright while the carnage erupted. He later asked the German prisoners why they hadn't shot him. They said they had thought he was crazy, right? So it's just random stuff. And then there's a link right there to theeconomist.com that gives you the whole idea behind it. So you can go through here, this Today I Learned section, and then there's even posting rules on each one of these forums here. But and so you can go through here and you can find interesting things to talk about on Facebook. This is where I get a lot of the material. You say, Ryan, where the hell do you come up with all the stuff that you say? Well, you're looking at it, ladies and gentlemen. This is where I go to come up with the like entertaining shit that I say on Facebook. Now, I'll be honest, a lot of my stuff is original just because I have a brain that does belong on Reddit. But you can come over here, like hardly anybody on Facebook's on Reddit. So you can come over here and really find some entertaining stuff to get a buzz going for that whip effect that we're going to cover here in a second on Facebook. So instead of searching the internet for all sorts of crazy news sites and everything else, looking for entertaining stuff, you can come here and like, this is funny as hell. This is the kind of shit that I think is funny. Today I learned a one-eyed man was executed for bestiality in 1642 in Connecticut after a local sow gave birth to a one-eyed piglet. That shit's fucking funny, y'all. Right? So like me, I would copy that and put that on Facebook and be like, man, good thing that we've evolved, right? What do you think about this? Ask them a question, right? Do you think they were a little out of control, or do you think pigs can actually give birth to human, right? That's the kind of question that I would ask after posting this and copying and pasting it and posting it on Facebook, right? And so that way people get to give their opinion. So not only do they put things like LMAFO or whatever the hell it is, or LOL or ha 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 or whatever, but it also gets to chime in. No, I think they were dead wrong for doing that. Or I don't know, has anybody ever looked into the fact that maybe people and pigs can breed and have one-eyed piglets? I don't know, right? So you can start something funny where people say a bunch of like, what do you call it, smart ass one-liners and things like that. And what that'll do, because this is some humorous shit, obviously, and what that'll do is that'll build that edge rank we talked about. So we talked about edge rank having weight, time decay, and affinity. And I'll cover that real quick because there's a couple of you that are new in here. Edge rank is like SEO for Facebook. The higher your edge rank, the more likely your friends are to see your post in their news feed on Facebook. An edge rank consists of weight, which is the amount of likes, shares, and comments and interaction you have on your post. It also counts for affinity, the relationship you have between the people that are posting, liking, and commenting on that post, and how often they like and comment your stuff, and vice versa. And then the third thing is time decay, which is the amount of time that your post was out there. So it usually starts over about right now over 90 seconds. It's moved up a little bit. It was 70 when some of y'all started in this group, but it's about 90 now. They're giving us more time. And so you want your edge rank. The higher the edge rank, the better chances of all of your friends seeing your post in the Facebook newsfeed, and the better chance of you becoming a top story in the Facebook newsfeed. And that same principle works here on Reddit. If it's something that's really funny, then it'll become a Reddit front page story. And in Facebook, they call it the top story on the newsfeed, right? So you could literally go through here and copy the thing about the one-eyed man executed for bestiality and say, hey, do you think they were right or wrong in doing this? And is it possible that humans and pigs could possibly have psychotic piglets? Right? That's funny, right? So that's something I would do. That may not be for you because some of y'all have to be a little bit more, okay, a lot more professional than I am. But it's a place to find funny stuff like that, right? And so, or you can just find interesting things about the military on Veterans Day. You can come in here and you can learn all sorts of military and historical facts and stuff like that. So here's something really cool, that veterans can now choose the hammer of Thor for their headstone emblem, which is pretty cool. That's something that you may share as well. Hey, all my military friends, is this something that you're going to get on your grave? Right? That's something that's interesting, I think. Then you can go up here, and the way that they break these down are hot, new, rising, controversial, top, and wiki, right? Things from Wikipedia. So I like controversial, right? That fits me pretty well. And so let's just see what kind of shit that it brings up over here. So it is illegal to sell alcohol to an intoxicated person in a British pub. Now, how is that possible, right? So that's something that you could really spin an oxymoron type of a funny thing on. So, it just gives you little interesting facts and things like that. Here's something good. Today I learned a 7-year-old got suspended because his Pop-Tart looked like a gun. You could copy and paste the link to that, and you could put, hey, did you know that there was a 7-year-old suspended because the Pop-Tart looked like a gun? Geez, people, do you think we're taking this too far? Right? That's something that 50, 60 people, I don't care how many friends you have, would love to chime in and give their 2 cents about. And that's what we're trying to do to build up for this whip effect. We're trying to find something that's viral, something that's maybe not controversial. That's more my style, and it's not necessarily y'all style, but something that's more entertaining and has that effect of virility that people will actually want to chime in. And I shit you not, Reddit is the absolute best place. And we're just in one subreddit here, and it's called Today I Learned. So you can also go under here. Here's funny. And so, you can just kind of find out. Here's something that's Texas, so it would be good for me. Texas, hot, dry, dry aired, hotter, humid, sticky. The 4 seasons: January, summer, and Christmas. Right? I'm from Texas, so that shit's funny. That would be really good for me to save, and that's exactly what I'm going to do here. That would be really good for me to save in my Evernote account. And if you're not using Evernote, it's like the greatest thing ever. I don't really have time to go into that today, but it is definitely one of the greatest tools that you can use to share stuff, because I can come back to this link later and then copy it and use it in one of my campaigns. I don't have to post it just right now that I saw it, right? So I just go back and save it in Evernote. And just real quick, Evernote's free, but it's where I keep all my blog posts, all the notes for my trainings for y'all, everything that I need to take a note about. I can keep it on my cell phone, my desktop, and share it between 5 different devices. And so, Evernote's just a really cool place to store all of your stuff. It's like storing everything in the cloud, and it's always accessible no matter where you're at. Back over to, did I just knock Reddit out? I surely did, didn't I? Back over to Reddit here. So we're going to go back to funny. So it's Friday afternoon at 4 o'clock, and it's time to get off work. Realtors are about to hit happy hour and everything else. So you're able to come through here through funny. Same thing, you've got new, rising, controversial, and top. So I like controversial because generally you find the most entertaining shit in there. And let's just see what they made it about, funny. So go back here. Still, they do a lot of memes back here. Still a better love story than Twilight. That's funny. And so, there's all sorts of, what is this, that ass, right? So that's funny, right? Everybody's all staring at it because she happens to be at the movie thing. So you can find all sorts of funny pics back here. You can even go up if you're into motivational stuff and things like that. There's funny pics. And then there's just regular pics. So you could see, that's a beautiful picture right there that somebody took, where obviously killer whales hang out. So you could take that picture and share it and go, what do you think lives in here? This picture just taken off the coast of such and such. What do you think lives in here? Anything you can really do just to strike up a conversation. If you're a political person, then you can go through here and find, geez Louise, controversial political things don't take too far to find. But I guess you get what I'm saying. You can go through any subreddits, just about anything that you can think of. So if you want to talk about real estate, for example, which I don't recommend because I'm going to show you the strategy on that in a minute. But you can see there's all these subreddits for real estate and things like that. Real estate lobbyists go nuts editing Wikipedia following Reddit discussion on negative gearing. What's the most messed up thing you've seen a real estate agent do or say? So there, let's just take a look in here real quick. My downstairs neighbors locked their bedroom's door. Realtor showed an apartment asked she could show my apartment instead if it was the same floor plan. Right, that's hilarious. So I'm sure, just knowing how smart asses people are on Reddit, that this right here, and again, I'm going to drop this in my Evernote account because that is going to be a killer thread. And matter of fact, I'm not going to drop it in my account. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share it with y'all because there, I promise you, there is some. I promise you, there is some killer content within the comments of here talking about crazy things that realtors done. Matter of fact, I'm probably going to use some of that stuff as a blog post. So can't go wrong with that. But so you get the point. You see how easy it is to pull stuff off of Reddit. And let's just read one more real quick before we jump out of here because these got to be great. A friend of mine lives at the corner of two busy streets. He burns, runs over with the lawnmower. He burns, runs over with the lawnmower, or otherwise destroys real estate and open house signs being put on his property without permission. I sat on the lawn with him one Saturday watching a lighter fluid soaked sign burn as the agent called the police. Cop said, "Sure, make sure there wasn't a brush fire warning make next time," right? So that's hilarious. So I'm sure there's just tons of great content in these right here that you can talk about and tell real estate jokes that agents will definitely think are funny on Facebook. And I left that link back there in our group. So, okay, so what you do is after you figure that out, and I'll show you what I've been doing. So after you pull something out of Reddit that's quite entertaining, right? I get pictures from there and everything else. So you pull something out of Reddit here. Let's just go down a little bit. And I'm going to teach you all a few things as we go through my timeline here. And we're just a few days back. I've had a busy couple of days on here. Sorry. So right here, I was reading something on Reddit, and it said the people of power who say things like, "We are solving the world's problems," are generally creating them. And that was actually a headline that I got from subreddit, right? So I got a few people, 9, 10, 11, 12 or so people, a few people to comment on here. Okay, go back down here to, where are we at here? It's a great place. See, one of the problems with people writing so much on your wall is that you can't ever find the stuff that you're trying to do to show your people. So we'll just start right here. This is real easy. This is, hey, I'm about to tear some breakfast up. What did you have to eat this morning? So I put all the shit that I'm going to make for breakfast. And yes, I actually ate that. It was an omelet with half a sausage, 2 eggs, some cheese and bread, all that, or toast, all that good stuff. You can see I had a few likes, but I have 24 comments right here. Some people said things about eating healthier and everything else on there. But you see, I built that up. 24 comments is quite a bit. We can all agree with that. Then I also built up a little shout out for Steve Green on his birthday coming up after that. And then I talked about my business, right? You see right here, and see, I've already got people coming to my page because there's been 24 people comment on this. So that gives me a really high edge rank, and it's people wanting to go there to see, because you can see some people like the other comments and things like that 3 times. So you can see people are interacting on there. So that starts to build my edge rank. And from there, I mentioned, hey, there's something to do with work. One of the coolest loan officers on the planet, Steve Green, right? And then after that, I mentioned another thing about work where I'm not saying, hey, I'm out here working, I'm out here doing everything I can, send me business. I position, hey, one of the coolest loan officers. Everybody knows I work with loan officers, so they can just assume that Steve and I work together, right? Which would be a good assumption on their end. Same thing, Kate Buck here. She's one of the most popular people on the internet, period. And matter of fact, I'm about to do some sales stuff for her because she is not a salesperson at all. And I'm going to help her out towards the end of the month here. But, I know mentioning her online for my sphere of influence will show people, hey, that Ryan really is working. He's hustling. He's making good connections. This could be for you, a top level real estate agent in your area. Hey, just spent about an hour on the phone with, the Matt Damon lookalike from the Remax office over here. And I just want to say I've been a huge fan of hers for years, and he's one of the most talented realtors in the marketplace. Have you ever heard of him? If not, you should definitely check him out. He sells houses quick. and you tag his name in there, knowing that he's a popular real estate agent, then what's going to happen is his friends are going to chime in, right? His other agent friends and the people on his team, just like Kate right here being an internet marketer, other of her internet marketer friends, right, have chimed in and said, oh, yeah, absolutely. Kate's great. You can see that. Yeah, Kate's great. Kate is a badass. You know, that girl can Dougie. And so that same thing's going to happen when you tag that agent. Hey, just met for breakfast this morning with the Matt Damon real estate agent, and I've been a huge fan of his for years. Do you know him? Right, so that his friends, because you tagged, as you can see, I tagged Kate in this. You tag that agent so that their other agent friends can chime in and go, yeah, absolutely, I know him. He's awesome, right? And so you're building up more rapport. You're still talking about work because everybody knows you're a mortgage officer, and everybody knows that the Matt Damon real estate agent is obviously a real estate agent. And why I chose that name, I'll never know, but we're going to stick with it. Y'all just bear with me. But you know that that you're also going to brand not only the amount of friends that you have, but his friends are going to get exposed to you as well, just like Kate's did here. And I got a few firm requests from it, and a few people reached out to me actually and said, "How the hell were you able to get in touch with Kate?" Which I would imagine other realtors and stuff like that would do for you. And actually, Kate reached out to me, which is even cooler. One of the other strategies I use is that when I talk to somebody, whether like Seth was on my podcast this week, Seth's one of the four, like top 4 or 5 most influential people on Facebook, and he's just very powerful. And so after he and I were on the podcast, he went and put a picture on my wall. Hey, my friend, you rock. You're awesome. And that's when you do good with people that get social media, they'll put stuff like that on your wall. And I tell you what, if you'll start doing that, so say you had that phone call with him and you tagged him, the next couple of days you went back to that Matt Damon real estate agent's wall and he said, hey man, you're awesome. I see you just killing it out there, man. I'm glad that we're connected on here, right? Just be nice to him, play to that ego. And that's what Seth's doing. He's like, you know what? I enjoyed my time with you. You're cool. And so that gets him to post on my wall. Brian, who's obviously maybe even watching this, one of our LOs, he's got a few agents that he introduced me to that he wanted me to help them with. And we've been working on that level for quite some time now. And because Brian was the very first loan officer, most of you know that I ever worked with. So he just happened, because he's nice from time to time, to drop this out there and say, hey, in today's real estate market, communication is extremely important. So he had a message that he wanted to share, and he wanted to make sure that my people saw that message as well. And that's because Brian, just like the rest of y'all, Steve, Brian Grout, Michael Rice, Patrick, Lamont, Michael, whatever y'all want to do, y'all can post this kind of stuff on my wall. Guess what? Because I got connections with agents and people all over the place. So don't be afraid at all to post stuff like this on my wall, because you're going to get probably a lot more exposure for mine than you would yours anyway. And so what you can see here is these guys beat me a little bit faster than what I planned to do this whip effect. But so what I did was I built it up. So the whip effect was I got 24 comments on here, somewhere in there, 24 comments. I did a shout out about work, another shout out about work with somebody who I knew that was popular, that was going to get some serious interaction in there. And then, Brian and Seth happened to write on my wall. And then guess what? There's always one of these close by. And this is what I call the whip effect. You build up your edge rank and then you really advertise your business. Well, my business obviously is to get people to my website for the most part. So after people have been coming here on Tuesday and seeing all this action happen on my wall, they're getting notifications, they're seeing this stuff fly through their news feed and everything else, right? Then as they come to my wall to scroll down, they've got to go across something that I've got for sale, which obviously you can see here just real quick, leads them to my blog. And from there, they've got a chance to sign up for my stuff, see that I'm on iTunes and everything else that you guys know that I have the opportunity to do. And so I've been practicing this for a few weeks, and I can show you, like literally, now I'm not saying that you have a website, but I'm going to show you literally the difference in traffic that it's brought to my website the last few weeks that I've been doing this. Pull it up here. This is going to show you the site stats on my Hardcore Closer blog. So you can see I've been doing this. These are my average. Actually, I've been doing it for about 2 weeks, so you can go back about 2 weeks and see that there's actually quite a drop in traffic from there. And see, this is just proof that you don't have to have millions of visitors a month to be able to attract business from a blog either, right? I've had this blog a little over a year, of 40,000 views. You can see my average, week or day, or let's see here. Let me pull it up this way. So you can see lately, the last 3 weeks that I've really been doing this, because this week's obviously not over yet, And I'm even going to probably build more this week than last week because the weekend's on Sunday. But you can see this is my average, right? I had a good week every now and then, but this is the average. And you can see now we're building up, and then this week will obviously be higher. And it's because of that whip effect. And you don't believe me, you can see today alone, 140 views from Facebook versus 15 from the search engines. Yesterday, again, there's 34 views from Facebook versus only 16 for the search engines. Same thing, you can see that people are actually going to the places, the shockingly evil sales thing, right? You can see that people are actually going to the things that I'm listing on Facebook. And I've always promised to be an open book with y'all so you can see everything. And then obviously while people are on my website, they're clicking around. Yesterday's full day, you can see that 4 people clicked and bought my book. 4 people applied for strategy sessions, whether that be realtors or LOs. 2 people went and watched a video, and then 2 people opted in for my syndicate training. So I got 12 leads yesterday alone, right? Today I've got 9 leads already. There's 13 different search engine terms, all from this whip effect, right? Building it up, saying nonsense, really, what I had for breakfast or whatever the case may be, and then all of a sudden throwing in a business post, right? And it doesn't hurt that I made sure I used attractive lady as well. Ladies get an 86% more response rate. Their pictures, female pictures, get an 86% more response rate than a male on social media. Then here's one of actually it's Brian's realtor, and Colleen and I work together. Actually met Colleen through Brian, my colleague, believe it or not, and that's how we began working together. And when she puts something out there that she thinks important, then she tags me in it, and you can see right here that she's got 19, 20, 21, 23 comments in that and put it on my wall. So that also brought a lot of traffic to my wall, and you can get your agents doing this as well, right? Because you can see that I started the whole commenting thing out here. Was the first person to comment, wanted to drag it on a little bit further and then continue that conversation with her, and then all of a sudden you can see that other people started chiming in. That's that whip effect happening on one post right there. The edge rate building up because Facebook's going, ooh, this is obviously something that people want to talk about. But it took us getting it started first, which just took a couple minutes, no big deal. And that's generally what happens. The more comments, the more people want to chime in and see what people are saying. And so here, again, she put that out there. I saw that it had a whole bunch of comments and stuff on it. So the next thing I put out there, because I know people are going to see my wall, is that, hey, I'm looking to meet some new friends. Because new friends to me mean, new connections, new people that I can influence online, new people that I can reach out to and possibly help. And Facebook, just so you know, this is an ultimate fail because I am in no way humanly possible interested in either one of these DBs. So that is a terrible ad. What a waste of money for that advertiser. And then Sean obviously was one of the shares. Most of you know Sean Mathis. If you don't, he's somebody really good to follow as well. Shared Colleen's topic and then tagged me on it, said Ryan Stewman has a rant on this topic too. And then Sean obviously taking advantage because Sean's smart. He plays the game too. And y'all are all welcome, just like Brian did as well. Sean's like, hey, I'm in a contest to share organic likes on my business page. I need some help. Share and like my page. Right? He doesn't mind using my wall, and he knows that I don't mind either. Then I notice after getting a little traction here, again, I post something about business. I'm not asking for money. I'm not asking for people to come buy something from me. It's like, hey, I've got a free podcast on iTunes, which sounds legitimate as hell. And sounds like somebody's moving up in the world, which truthfully it is. I was really happy when iTunes picked up my podcast. I'm like, oh, shit, I'm official now. So, and I've got quite a few subscribers already, so I'm trying to grow that. And so I just put this out here. Hey, I've got free content for you. Come hang out, listen to our new episodes every Wednesday. And you can see this guy's an agent, managing broker at Pedersen Realty in Minnesota. And he thought it was funny to share something that probably he's a past client as well. He owns my syndicate program, and he's been a client about 3 months ago. And so I wouldn't be surprised if he found this on Reddit and shared it with me. Like, would not surprise me at all. And again, so I try to say something controversial here because people love to give opinions on controversy. It didn't quite work as well on this one, but at least I got 4 or 5 comments right there. So I attempted it again, right? So that wasn't controversial enough to build up the likes and comments that I wanted. And in your case, it doesn't have to be controversial. It may be funny enough or entertaining enough or cute enough with your kids or whatever the case may be, which I'll show you too. So I have this idea. They say we have an energy crisis. Well, why don't we organize a day off? Everyone in the world could just unplug for 24 hours, And I just thought, you know what, right, random stone thoughts with Ryan. I thought this was a good idea. Maybe if we could unplug, we could all go stand out in the streets and sing Kumbaya for 24 hours together and give back to the grid. Well, apparently I have some really, really, really smart people that are my friends. Landon, who is a real estate agent over in Lubbock, Texas, decided to give his his 2 cents here. And then Dean, who I guess is a loan officer up north, chimed in as well. But you can see here there's 21 comments or so. Here's a real estate agent. There's an internet marketer, one of the top salespeople. I believe Michael Andrews is a real estate agent, if I'm not mistaken. There's Chris Jones, who's probably another real estate agent since she's connected to him. Ashley's a direct salesperson. Landon, obviously real estate agent. Sean, insurance agent. So there's agents that chime in on these things, right? And I'm just trying to prove my point here. Bear with me. I've got a financial advisor client, which is a good lead source. And if any of y'all are in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex and you want to meet up with the new financial planner, I know it says he's a mortgage consultant, but I believe he left that job about 6 or 7 months ago, and he's doing selling, securities and stuff like that. So anyway, he posted on my wall because, when he thought about Facebook and the secret behind the like button, he thought that he would share it with me, right? So that's content that I didn't have to come up with because one of my friends and one of my past clients, because he has been a client of mine before and a referral source, put some information out on my page for me. So when I woke up yesterday morning and that was already on my page at 6:30, guess what? I didn't have to think or get on Reddit or anything else to search for what to say. Somebody had already taken that spot for me, which is absolutely great. And so after I saw that he had already posted that, the next thing I thought was I need to post something about business then. So if I threw a free training webinar, would you attend? Because I want to know if I'm going to waste my time or not, first and foremost. And so we had, 20 or so comments. People chimed in on that. And so I thought that was really cool. And so then after the work thing went really well, and like I said, I'm showing you the exact same methods and showing you I got you, Lamont, don't worry. Showing you the exact same methods right here that I use, which is why we're going through my timeline. And you can see that this is all fresh, relevant content. So, right here we got 20 more comments. So I thought, well, if my edge rank built that good from just offering to do a webinar, which by the way, full disclosure, y'all are my people, so I teach y'all my tricks. I waited until the comments built up all the way to here, right? You can see that the comments, there was, 15 or so, and you can actually see, I'll show you a little behind the scenes trickery, because I promised to show y'all everything. We're on the same team. Dave sends me a message. See, I'm actually advertising this webinar right here that we're doing. Not the one that we're on now, but this pep talk that's going to happen June 20th. Y'all are more than happy to share it with your agents or get on there or whatever the case may be. If you feel like it, we're not going to sell nothing to you guys. Y'all are all taken care of. But Dave's like, hey, don't forget the webinar. You're talking about a webinar this morning. Don't forget about it. This is what we have. And I'm like, hey, man, I'm working it. Watch my magic. Let the comments build up before I drop a link. I got this. This is how I roll. And so the reason why I say that, let me scroll back down here to show you what I did that'll kind of explain all of that. Then I'm going to show you how to clean up your news feed while you're on here for the first time too. So the webinar thing, I waited, there's 20 comments, so I waited till about 15 built because I thought that was all we're going to get. And it's like, oh, well, you know what? Speaking of webinars, here's one that we already have planned, right? And then that post drew more people in there, and a lot of people said they'd be down to watch it. Matter of fact, let's just look through here. There's a mortgage guy. I knew one of them was a broker. Okay, there's a broker at Weichert, which is a big East Coast. If you're in the New Jersey, if you're licensed in New Jersey, I can hook you up with this guy, no problem. Todd's another real estate agent at Century 21. You got Michael Dean. Colleen's another agent. Ashley, Sean, David Lowe, have no clue who he is. El Carey, Dave Folks. So you can see I got a lot of people within the real estate arena that chimed in on this too. So that's really cool. So I built from that, right? The whip effect let me even put some more compound on it. And I thought it was funny to mention, do any other dads out there feel like you need to wear a cup around your kid? And I kid you not, ladies and gentlemen, my son Jax is like the perfect height. And he jumps in my lap, and he must hit me in my crotch like 50 times a day. I'm worried I'm not going to be able to have another one, right? It's a little frustrating. Steve, I know you got some news this week. Just wait till they hit about 20 months and they're like that perfect size, my man. So, and so I figure if this is happening to me all the time, then it's got to be happening to other dads out there. And it's probably something entertaining that people would give their 2 cents about, right? And so kid things work, kids and animals. You couldn't ask for anything better on Facebook. And so it did exactly what I thought it was. We had about 8 or 10 comments. Even had a realtor mention Oliver's all elbows and gets me in the stomach and boobs every time, right? So, each one of these posts, you can see that real estate, here's a real estate investor, right? And you can see that on each one of these posts, we're actually getting agents to engage. So it's not like you're looking at these posts and going, well, yeah, Ryan, that's cool, but it's just a bunch of your freaking stoner friends chiming in on this. These are real estate agents that are finding these things entertaining and funny and engaging with me. And at some point, they're either been my client, been to one of my seminars. There's engagement levels on that. They buy my products on a regular basis. And the mirroredness of that for you is actually, getting them to send you their mortgage business. So you think about Amanda. She's a broker at Amanda Thomas and Associates. And yes, I'm sure you probably see that there is a pattern of brokers that I'm friends with more than agents. And the reason why I do that, I recommend it for you too, because brokers control the agents, right? So if you become friends with the brokers, then you can get business from any agent, because if the broker recommends you, well, shit, that's kind of like the boss. So just a thought. So Amanda is she's who I used when I bought my home here. Now, she was a client of mine, and I promised her when she was a client of mine a year ago, I said, well, when you get ready, when I get ready to actually buy a house, I'll let you represent me since you've been a client of mine and finished this course. And while it normally takes the average real estate agent right now in the Texas market 15 offers to be able to get a house, Amanda and I did it in 5, I believe. Maybe it was 7 if you count the 2 that we did a few months before. But really and truthfully, we did it in 5 and got it done together. We worked hard together because she gets my system and we work well together. She's an awesome person. But the reason why I say that is when she thinks about problems in her real estate business, she reaches out to me, right? And so she says, let me know if you're running low on rent material. Side note, I'm going to share what she wrote me with you here in a minute, and I'm going to give you some, like, with the stuff that she wrote me, and this is part of the reason why I'm showing you this, is the stuff that she wrote me is like, it really signifies what an agent's struggles are right now. So I'll show you that here next. And so she put that out there. I knew this. My son went to the bathroom for the first time, his toilet, right? That's like a big deal to any parent. I know any parent out there will 100% resonate with that and be happy about it. I knew that's an edge rank builder. And it really happened, right? I've been known to bullshit post from time to time. I'm not going to lie to y'all. But this really happened. He really did go to the bathroom by himself. So I knew a bunch of people would chime in. And as you can see, 35 or so people with a few comments. And then as you see, above that, using that whip effect, 31 comments above that, I use that to talk about my next venture. See, on Friday, tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central Time, y'all should definitely go to my YouTube channel and check this out. I've got my buddies, I don't know how I pulled this together, right? I guess good salesmanship. But I got all my friends in one place, and they're not really my friends. They're people that I know from the internet that I do business with that are all very big names. So I got Kenneth Pugmire, Brian Horn, which, by the way, Kenneth does my website, and he's the guy that designed my timeline cover and all that stuff, right? Then Brian Horn is my press release guy that gets me in the Wall Street Journal and all that good stuff. He's like the number one guy as far as the SEO world goes. AJ Roberts, he's actually a friend of mine, and he does my ads for me. He's the guy that I use for my ad consultant. He's also known as the strongest man in the world. The guy's got a 900-pound bench press. There's that goofball Seth Larrabee that I talked about earlier. And then Sean, WordPress guy Vossler, which is like one of the most popular. He's got 38,000 followers just on Facebook outside of his friends, like one of the most popular guys in the internet world on Facebook. And then Brandy, who is the Hangout queen for Google Hangouts, because that's how we're doing it, right? So you noticed I tagged all these people that I got to commit to get on this Hangout with me tomorrow so that all of their friends, you think about it, Kenneth Pugmire, 5,000 friends, right? We got 144 between us. You got Brian Horn, 5,000 friends with 183. AJ and I, 130. Seth, we have 148. So all these friends, that's probably, let's say 30,000 people. Well, is Sean's 38,000 followers? Let's say it's 70,000 people that see this post right here potentially because of the power that all these guys have. on their social media presence. You could do that same thing with agents in your area. And all I'm doing, just like we talked about a couple weeks ago, is interviewing these people. Really, I'm not even interviewing them at this point. We're just hanging out and talking shit. But they're people that I've gotten big discounts from. I can't tell you their prices, but what Kenneth normally charges and what he charges me is like a fraction. Same with Brian, what he normally charges. Brian's a guy that makes $250,000 a day, y'all. He's in my mastermind group. He's like unreal money. And so, no, I'm sorry, $250,000 a week. But shit, what's the difference? I mean, still, it is what it is. The guy makes like $1,000,000 months all day, every day. Like, it's just amazing. But the price that he cuts for me is unreal because I've been able to kindle these relationships with them on Facebook, right? But I also know the power in using their names on Facebook, so I'm gonna make sure I capitalize on that shit, y'all. And you could do the same thing for popular title companies, popular agents, popular credit repair people, popular all that stuff in your realm as well. And so above that, obviously, then people start sharing my stuff, right? So Nick shared the Google Hangout from below because see, it says all shit. So you can see that he shared it. You can see that Parker, which is one of the guys that came to me and asked me for sales help, and he's a big time sales coach, and I helped him put his funnel together. And when he hit me up and he said, "Dude, that shit that you told me to do worked," I said, "Good, man. What I need you to do is go to my Facebook wall and write on there that you did that what I told you worked and that you enjoyed it, man, because that's social proof for me, and people will see that works." Or people see that what I teach actually works, especially if it comes from someone high level like you, Parker. I'd appreciate that. And so I had no problem asking him because he got the results he wanted. And he was like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, I got it. No problem. I'm going to go there right now." And then he wrote me a badass testimonial. And so to me, this is a client. No different than an agent is a client to you. No different than a client is a client to you. So when you do something great for them and they're super happy and they're like, "Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you." Right. Look, thanks, Ryan. I freaking love you, dude. And my wife wanted to tell you thank you too. Right. That's some powerful shit coming from man to man. Right. Especially without the words "no homo" behind it. Right. And all joking aside. But I mean, that's some powerful shit coming from somebody. That's a really good testimonial. And he was excited because guess what? What I showed him this week, he's made 4 sales. And the guy hasn't made sales that fast on that high level because I think he's charging $800 a month for his door-to-door program. And so, he's happy as hell. He's never got it like this before. So I want to make sure to capitalize on that and let people, when they're scrolling through my page, right, because we got popular shit before and above, see a good testimonial out there. So make sure you're asking your people for that as well. Same thing. Here's the replay after Seth and I did the Rockstar Closer radio show. And you can see that Seth shared it, chimed in. A couple people said we did good. If you get it to where it's like this and you're getting people that share it and you're getting a lot of repeats on there, you don't have to delete them. You can go over here to the edit part and you just hit hide from timeline. Because this is already up there. The link to that show is already up there, right? And I probably could have done this. I could have left his up and took mine down, but it doesn't matter. And so over here, again, you can see that Seth and I are on here a couple of times. So what I can actually do is here's the replay. Seth's on there once. That's not bad. Here's another one that I shared somebody else. You guys know that I get a lot of trolls. And so I figure a lot of my other advertising buddies get trolls too. So I put this out there, right? All along, really trying to just share this shirt that I got. It was the ultimate deal. But this is actually a really good video. And so I don't want to take up I've already taken up 45 minutes going through my timeline here, but I wanted to be very, very, very detailed with you about, how this whip effect works, right? And anytime somebody says they like something about, hey, get them to tag you, because when someone bounces on your page and they land on your page and they're like, okay, Jared Christian, the realtor, and I'm going to show you all this in a minute. I'm going to explain that in a minute. Just bear with me. Jared Christian, the realtor, Debbie Vivero, realtor, right? That's good proof for when loan officers come to me. Plus, I sell to realtors anyway. That's really what I'm good at. Hell, I've only got a few of y'all. I got a bunch of realtors I work with. But that's really my specialty. And so when loan officers find me, they want to see that I work with realtors. Or when other realtors find me, they want to see that other realtors like my stuff. So the same thing for you. Get your title companies, insurance agents sharing your stuff. You can either ask them to by sending them a message saying, hey, I just put a post out there. Can you share that? And I do that from time to time. Or more importantly, if you're engaging these relationships, then they'll start sharing your stuff for you. So this morning, I woke up, fresh day, started off from the jump, and I just put something out there for business because Rose Simmons sent me a message this morning saying she had 42 new leads from Facebook, right? Ro bought the Facebook Syndicate program, which is a $200 program. Don't none of y'all need to stress it. Y'all are learning way more than what's in there. But she just got, for a couple of days ago, put it into work, got 42 leads off of Facebook, really out there working the program all day for a few days. And so she's excited. So I want to share this. Well, guess what? I sold 2 copies from posting. They're $197 a piece. So I sold $400 by posting this morning. Okay. So here's the kicker. My buddy Brian Horn, the PR guy I told you about, right? And so the question is that a Magnum condom or is that some kind of something else? I'm not sure. I Googled sexy real estate agent. This beast showed up, dude. So I couldn't help but try to get some controversy from this. But I got this program from Brian called Link Bait Generator, and you can use it. It's free. You just go to linkbaitgenerator.com if you're into blogging. Some of you do that. And so it gives you type in a keyword and it gives you really viral headlines. Well, one of the viral headlines it gave me last night was 10 underappreciated things about real estate agents, but I'm an underachiever, so I'm not going to fucking write 10 things. I went with 5. So there was not a rule that said I had to write all 10. So I just went with 5, and they're lucky because I could have just went with 3. But really what I did here, and you shall love the trickery here, is I wrote about underappreciated things about real estate. So I wrote this so that I put this picture in here so that people would think it's funny and you couldn't help but look at it. Agents could appreciate the outside of the box marketing, right? But I'm actually taking up for agents, right? So I've got 5 things telling you that you shouldn't be disrespecting agents for that you probably didn't know that they did. Because I know writing an article like this will get shared by agents going, yeah, exactly. Yeah, what he said. And my predictions are very rarely wrong. So I just posted this here, but I'm going to show you something else in a minute, right? So this agent, he's an agent too, I believe. You got somebody who's a stager, loan officer. So you got quite a few people chiming in. Now, on the other hand over here, the people that shared it, real estate agent, that's up in Canada. Royal LePage is Canada. Another real estate agent. And then I believe Shane is actually a loan officer. So you can see that agents are sharing that just like I planned on it. And that's exactly what I wanted, right? And who can resist looking at that picture and not laughing, right? That's some content. Now, your bank may not let you get away with that shit, but you see what I'm doing. So I'm building up some viral stuff for my work as well. And my edge rank has been high all week. And so I'm continuing to get a lot more, a lot higher edge rank and a lot more engagement. And you can see Jared thought that was funny too. And then Jared even mentions great post from Ryan Stewman about realtors in our profession. On a side note, I did close the deal with the agent in the picture once. Wait, that sounded bad, but you know what I mean. Thanks, Stewman. Right? So the reason why I wanted to walk you through my timeline, I had no idea it was going to take me 48 minutes to go through it, but I wanted to thoroughly explain to you what I'm doing so that you can see the agents chiming in. You can see how I position my posts. Now, you've seen that I went on Reddit to get a lot of my material, and I want to show you one last thing because this morning I didn't drop the link on my page first, right? So I put this on Colleen's page first. And you can see here, Ryan, that is one of the best posts ever written about our profession. Broker, JP Associates and Realtors. And it's his birthday. This market makes it extremely difficult to put deals together. And the best, better trained professional full-time realtors can make it happen for their clients. Ryan, I couldn't read what you wrote after seeing the hot chick on your article, but I bet whatever you wrote kicked ass. Was that a hot chick? So, and then I never met Debbie before. She chimes in this morning, sends me a friend request, and then posts that something she watched was totally awesome of mine. So I attracted a new agent into my funnel just this morning by posting this. And I actually post this on Colleen's page, not mine, 6 hours ago. So before we wrap up here, because I did not, and I'm in no hurry if y'all aren't, we can continue going for another 15 minutes outside or so once we get done. But you can see inside my messages here, and I'll show you. This is fine too, okay? So this is a real estate investor and a loan officer in one of my other mastermind groups that I'm hooking up, right? I actually got this gentleman, Brandon, who wants to buy 2 properties that reached out to me, and he's in Pennsylvania. So I hooked him up with Kevin, who's an agent in one of my other masterminds. Rose, she's one of my clients. This is Lars Lofgren. He's a broker in Plano, Texas, and he keeps hitting me up to come help his agents with training, right? But I keep telling him I'm too damn busy to make it, and it's not because I'm lazy. You can see here, Dawn, the real estate lady, that's somebody Brian hooked me up with. And I've got quite a few agents and people of that nature that reach out to me back here. right? And that's the way I position myself. Here's Kelly. She handles all the social media for Century 21, and she sends me deals from time to time. So with that being said, I want to show you what Amanda had sent me the other night. Did I miss it already? Let's see. There we go. Because before we wind this down, I want to read you what she says. Because I think this is a very, and this is what you should be doing too. But I want to read you this entire conversation because I think this is important. So I reached out to her. Okay, no charge, and I want her to know that up front. But I can show you to search some sites on how you can talk to sellers into paying you, even if they're a FSBO or investor or whatever. If you want to know how, just let me know. She responds, Ryan, I'm all about finding more property resources to help folks get a match with or without me. I got some really desperate folks who need homes, and there are none available. So I'm like Craigslist, LinkedIn investment groups, Facebook investment groups, FSBO.com, listedby.com, Revestor.com, search forums and all. I can teach you how to quickly get a 3% commission on any FSBO willingly too, right? Because I know how to do that. You ask them what their lowest price is. And when they say that, you go, no, seriously, what's your lowest price? I'm trying to make a cash offer right now. What's the deal? And they're like, listen, I'll take 120 for it. And you're like, okay, great. We're going to sell it for 127. You're going to pay me 3% commission. Let me go talk to my buyers. It really is that easy, right? You just got to get them in a corner first. So she goes and responds, Ryan, I do mind those resources for property matches. Now you have to remember, this is one of my clients. So she's going to be at more advanced than your average agent that you reach out to because she's been through my training. Matter of fact, she was in there with Michelle, I think, came in on this deal. So, Michelle's not on here anymore. She graduated. But anyway, Ryan, we do mind those resources for property matches. Not having trouble negotiating with non-conventional sellers either, just having trouble getting to them before the property is sold. So she's telling me in that thing right there that even FSBOs are selling quickly. She said it'd be awesome to develop an MLS for buyers, kind of like a Craigslist that has a housing wanted section. And I'm like, I got you. There is a foreclosure not on the market at the end of my street, FYI, if you know anyone looking. And she's like, the reversematch.com for sellers. And I said, well, make yourself the person that agents reach out to when they have listings, or rather when they get them first. Make new friends and then get ahead of the rest. I was like, that's a good idea. I can get it built. It's easier than you think. I was talking about her software. She's like, I have my fingers on the pulse of the unreleased foreclosures as well. They drive buyers into a frenzy. Tell me about the reverse MLS. And we won't go through that. So she was thinking it through, and I want to talk more about the market. She's like, I can't tell you how many calls a day I take from frustrated buyers who feel their agents aren't working hard to find their properties. She meant aren't, I can tell you that. So she's like, it's jaded though. Properties are generally hard to find. So she's saying she can't even pick up the people that are coming to her bitching about their current agent because she's probably not going to be able to help them either because there's limited inventory. She's like, I keep thinking about a black market MLS underground somewhere. And surely there is one, right? And it's the hedge funds and the shadow inventory and everything else. But here, the normal person would say, well, I'm sorry that happens, right? Maybe even some of y'all, I'm sorry you're going through that. Let me know if I can help you. Here's where I built empathy. And this is how I learn how to solve these problems for agents and build these deep bonds with them. Tell me more of your frustration. This shit helps me learn problems, solve them, and then teach them. It's with hedge funds and REO departments, the shadow inventory, builders too. She's like, I think their agents quit trying when they're at 7 to 15 offers deep with no success. And buyers want the impossible, super deals in areas with no inventory available. I've been at 4 and I hated it. I'm sure you remember. She was my agent. She's like, sellers are afraid to sell. This is the key, y'all. Sellers are afraid to sell because they don't think they have anywhere to go if they sell. She's like, and builders are my best friends right now because that's the easy sell, trade up, sell now, lease back. And so I was really like, shit, I never thought of that. My gosh, that's huge. Let me get on my thinking cap, because if sellers are afraid to sell because they're scared they're not going to have anywhere to go, then that is a huge problem that face realtors right now. That's something that I've got to figure out. I don't have the answer for it right this minute, ladies and gentlemen, but that's something that I've got to figure out what the answer is, so that's something that we can solve, right? So how do we entice sellers to sell? How do we get this shadow inventory? And so I'm thinking short sales, non-performing notes. Let me think how I could solve this problem. It's huge. And then here she goes. God bless America. Banks have REO inventory, then they need to release it, which the banks do have a lot. The market is so tight, it doesn't even matter who gets the listing. Just get the property on the market and it's gone. For leases, I'm calling on properties that were leased last year to see if the tenants are going to re-up. So that's pretty huge too. That's smart on her end too. You can tell that she's thinking ahead and really trying to be futuristic in this market. For single family, calling on and off market, withdrawing, Wispired, knocking on doors, postcards, whatever she can do, she's a hustler. And I'm like, the banks have a bunch of inventory. My buddy Arthur works for the biggest foreclosure asset management company around. My other friend works for Fannie Mae. Let me get some insight from them. I need these kind of problems brought to my attention so I can fix it, right? And so anyway, we go on, and I've talked to her about, waiting for the asset managers and all this other stuff. But here's the part she mentions about the rants. And I just thought that I would share this with you from behind the scenes rants from a real estate agent, right? Maybe I should have guest rants on my website. She's like, email signatures. If you have an image-based contact information that's non-searchable, non-clickable, in other words, you can't click on it and go to an email or text or anything like that, and the contact info cannot be copied, paste, or parsed into a contact record, title companies, loan officers, and real estate agents who are stuck in the 90s that think the image-based contact info looks cool are just putting a barrier between themselves and their customer. Topic 2. This is you guys. Loan officers, good ones, know how critical it is to communicate with the applicant about underwriting status, particularly as the third-party financing protection period approaches. If this isn't on the file radar, then it's a miss on the part of the LO. Electing to continue with a contract after the third-party financing addendum period expires should be the client's choice, not the LO's choice. Informed consent, right? So that's something to be aware of. If you've got a sketchy loan and you're not exactly sure, then by all means, let the agent know that you've got a sketchy loan and you're not exactly for sure, because obviously this is frustrating the hell out of her when a loan officer says, hey, I think I got this, and then they end up not getting it. Now, we know that maybe who she's dealing with is not as badass as anybody in this group as far as, and you know what, she's got some kind of arrangement, or I'd hook her up with one of y'all that are here in Dallas with somebody, and once that expires, maybe I will hook y'all up. But for the time being, you can tell that this is obviously frustrating for her. And then the third part, she complains about loan officers again. If you are a LO sending out promotional flyers for incentives on new marketing spends on loan products, know the details. It isn't enough to share a flyer. If you don't know what the approval criteria is, what the qualification guidelines are, or if you don't know what acronyms and those qualifications stand for, such as GFE, APR, some of the things that agents don't speak the same language as y'all. You got to remember that. LTV, they speak some of that, but not all of it like we do. You might have the greatest lending opportunity in the world, but if you can't speak to it, don't waste anyone's time. So what she's saying, if you're going to develop marketing pieces, whether they be flyers, whether they be websites, whether they be digital flyers that you post on Facebook in the form of pictures, whatever the case, make sure that you don't use just loan officer specific language, because your agents and your clients don't speak the same language as us. DTI, APR, GFE, IFE, all these things that we use, TIL. Agents and them may not necessarily know what that stuff is. I know it seems like they should, but they may not. Obviously, here's a broker who's really smart who missed some acronyms and didn't know what they mean, right? And so like IDGAF, she may not have known what that meant, and if y'all don't know what that means, it means I don't give a fuck, just to be honest with y'all. So anyway, it's obviously frustrating to her because she gets these really fancy flyers or sees these flyers on Facebook or whatever, but there's no substance to them because it doesn't let her know exactly what the outcome, what exactly the guidelines are and everything else. So something else to be conscious of. And that's real behind the scenes. Like this is like last night. Last night. So that's real behind the scenes stuff that we talked about just last night that's facing agents and the problems that she has with loan officers. So this is someone who I've got a good relationship, so I can have that good third party intimate conversation with. She'd probably kick my ass if she knew that I was sharing this with y'all, but hey, that's what y'all pay me for, so that we can get in the mind of the agent, right? And so seeing how I do Facebook, I wanted to really take a step back today and walk you through step by step, like just some really simple how to frame, how to build your edge rank up, whether it be through cute animals, kids, or funny stuff from Reddit. And then boom, right above that or right below that, post about your business in a really cool way. I think spending an hour actually showing you the exact way that I do Facebook, right? Whether you decide to do it like me or copy my style and be a little bit cleaner because of y'all working for professional organizations, you see how easy it is to find the content. You see how easy it is to get people to engage and then how to capitalize on that. Every time somebody says something really cool, and I'll show you this too. I put it in the group today. But every time somebody says something really cool about me on Facebook, I just take a screenshot and post it on my website. So every time somebody's put something cool on my wall over the last few weeks, I've just started doing this since like, maybe May 20th, March 24th. So I went back through and found some as well. But I just put it up here on the wall, on my website, because these are testimonials. I did everything and it worked. What more could you ask for? Dude, you're legit one of the coolest cats and your clients are blessed. Awesome. You picked up the phone in 5 minutes and helped me. So on and so on. And I've got people from all sorts of businesses back here. So you can do that as well. When people say cool stuff on your Facebook wall, or when they post stuff on your Facebook wall and say, this is really cool from my friend Ryan Stewman or something like this. If it made sense, I'd take a picture and then I'd just copy it and update my website. Now, some of you don't have websites, but I'm just showing you the power of social proof and everything that you can do with it. So with that being said, I'm going to get this uploaded to YouTube, this video, to where you can go back over it again. We covered the whip effect. It just took a little bit longer than I expected. So what we'll do next week, no. Give me another 10 minutes. I've got to show you this. Give me another 10 minutes. So this is the coolest way. I'm going to call it the $5 lead. Okay. So let's say I want to get business from Colleen. Never done business with her before, but we're friends on Facebook. Okay. So what I can do is I can go over here to give gift, and I can go over here and get a $5 Starbucks card. And when I click this $5 Starbucks card, it's going to allow me, I don't want to send her one, but it's going to allow me to give a private message. So I'm going to be able to send her for $5. I'm going to be able to send her a $5 card. And I'm going to say, hey, my name's Ryan Stewman. We've been friends here for a while. I'm an expert Facebook marketer and also mortgage person in the area. I'd like to show you how I can help you double your real estate business and get more listings, even in this tight market. And just as a show of good faith, I'll even buy you a cup of coffee. Here's $5 to start. Let's just talk on the phone. We don't even have to meet in person. And that would be the message that I would send out to this, something similar for you. If you think about it, for $5, right, you don't have to spend the gas or the time to go to Starbucks and them drink $10 worth of coffee or lunch or whatever. But for $5 on Facebook, you can get in front of the agent that you want by sending them a gift. Of course, that's going to stand out. Oh, that's cool. I didn't even know you could send Starbucks, or nobody's ever sent me Starbucks card on Facebook before. That's totally cool. Yeah, that's part of my marketing tactics. Do you think your clients would dig that shit? Right, there's your way in, fellas. Do you think your clients would dig it? What if I could show you, and if me, I like to send people the what the fuck button, right? It's $12, but I like to send it to them on their birthday. And so I almost sent it to you, Steve, but with the news that you gave me, I thought that it might be inappropriate, just in case it was misunderstood, just for the record. But I like to send them the WTF button. But whatever it is, for $5 or so, and there's plenty of stuff you can search through here, to send an agent or somebody that you want to get business from, a financial planner, to basically buy their attention and time. And, the average lead on Facebook costs me about $6 to $10, depending on if I'm generating it for a loan officer, an agent, or an insurance agent. And so $5 for me to be able to get in front of somebody and get them on the phone is a no-brainer. Absolutely, especially if it's a really good agent. And now, just really quick before we end on this, you can see Colleen being somebody who's she gets people to post on her wall, right? You see how that works? She posts on other people's wall, but she gets even entice me to do it, damn it. But she gets people to post on her wall and share her stuff. So it's, Sean's one of them, and so on and so forth. So that's huge. I believe that that's the key, is getting people to post on your wall, drawing the interaction to your page, because you want basically people to say, when they either wake up or during the day, man, I wonder what Brian Grout's up to. Man, I wonder what old Michael Rice is doing. Wonder what kind of stuff that Patrick's put out there for the day, or Brian or Eloy or whoever the case may be. You want to kind of be that person that they can go and see what kind of entertaining shit your friend said and everything else. So Don't forget to check that Reddit thread. I guarantee there are some great real estate agent stories in there. Matter of fact, I'm going to go take some out of there and write a blog post about it called like the 5 most funniest shit about real estate agents you've ever heard. And I think that'll be a great viral blog post as well for y'all to share too if you want. So next week, we'll jump into the funnel. I'm going to show you how to take this whip effect really quick and put somebody through a funnel to where they go and they fill out an application that ends up looking like, real quick, that ends up looking like this. They give you all of their personal information, how much money they're looking to put, how much money they're wanting to make, their production, and all that good stuff, right, from an agent. So I'm going to show you how to do that funnel that I put together, what works for me, and how I use this organic EdgeRank whip effect, basically to draw people to that so that they buy my products and fill out those strategy sessions. And that's what we're going to start with y'all next week. So this week, hey, start posting on Facebook. Go get material from Reddit, whether it's in politics, religion, whatever it's on there, something to get people talking, and then talk about your business, talk about the people you just closed a loan for, the agent that you just interacted with. It's just time to start getting active on here. I want to help each and every one of you close 6 more loans this month than you did last month. So hit me up. You got my phone number, the group, my message. I'm here for you. I want to make this shit happen. I'm trying to find agents in each one of your areas too, so I can turn them on to you. If you've got agents in the area, so a few of you reached back out to me, a few of you haven't, that you'd like for me to help you get in front of and all that other stuff, I'm all about that too. So we're halfway through the year. We're going to turn this shit up. We're not going to let high mortgage rates fucking kill our business or anything like that. They're not high. They're just going up a little bit. We're going to fucking double down and make this shit happen because we're hardcore closers, right, ladies and gentlemen? So with that being said, hey, thanks for your time today. I know that this kind of put everything into a really good slow pace, which is different than normal, understanding of how to run Facebook. And like I said, this works for me. And if it works for a guy that was a nerd in high school that nobody liked and who has a bad attitude half the time, then it's going to work really well for all of y'all because y'all are way cooler than I am. So I'll put the replay to this up as soon as I'm done. And I sent out the bills to everybody already. So check your email if you're up and due. And with that being said, y'all have a great rest of the week. Hit me up. I got an open day tomorrow. So Steve, I know you mentioned you want to talk to me. Brian, Mike, if Patrick, if any of y'all, Matthew, need me, just holler at me. I'm here. Later. It helps if you hit the right button to end the broadcast first. So let me just be a clown for a second here and stop the recording.